Bet you didn't know Harley Davidson riders live longer than any other motorcyclists. Today we're going to look at 5 things that are dangerous for all motorcyclists. But there's one surprising thing that's even more dangerous than the first 5, probably the most dangerous thing of all. Now, it's a silent hidden killer, but funnily enough, a lot of Harley owners or riders are going to be exempt from it. I get a lot of negative comments about Harleys and their riders when I make these videos. I laugh because you can tell the commenter has no idea at all. But even the biggest Harley haters have to concede that Harley people are going to blow away the other brands on this issue. Harley Davidson owners have the market cornered and it's saving lives. Hi, my name's Eamon. Welcome to the channel. A quick reminder about the seriously generous offer from Resurgence Gear. You can win $1,000 worth of very cool motorcycle gear for yourself or for someone you love. AAA rated gear that looks and feels like casual clothes. I wear it all the time. Check out this awesome hoodie. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit. It's warm, it's safe, and it looks gangster if you pull up the hood. Gangster. Competition details later in the video. Now remember to support the supporters if you want the channel to survive, and Resurgence Gear, their supporters. Now this patch is mine. It doesn't come with the hoodie, but you can get Old Not Dead supporter gear at the website, oldnotdead.club. Check it out. Come on, let's get on with it. So here are 5 things that are dangerous for all motorcyclists, followed by the most dangerous thing of all. Comment below if you know the 5 main dangers to motorcyclists. Let me know below. Number 1 is speed. Now, let's talk about speed. We've all heard the government propaganda. We've probably all been on the receiving end of the highway taxation patrol or the tax cameras that ping you for doing 3 kilometers over the speed limit. You know what they say about petty men? But, there's always a but, I've got to concede that if you do crash, which is not necessarily from speed, the faster you're going, the more likely you are to die. Especially on the road, because unlike a track, the potential to hit things, barriers, cars, trees, etc. is pretty big. So take speed seriously, pick your spots, be mindful of the conditions, and don't show off to your mates. You know the drill. Now, advice for young punters, try and keep it under 200. Uh-oh. Number 2 is intersections. This is where a lot of accidents happen, probably because so much is happening all at once. Cars are coming from opposite directions, adjacent directions. There's often oil on the road because that's where cars are stationary. We've got tram tracks here that are slippery. There are speed cameras up at the traffic lights. And there are often dills that don't mean you any harm. They're not watching where they're going. I think intersections are dangerous places because a lot of people just don't look, or perhaps riders are not cautious enough going through intersections. So look for eye contact, watch drivers' head movements, and keep your eyes open. Personally, I always slow down a little, or at least take the heat off the throttle and cover the front brake unless I can see very clearly what's going on. Keep your eyes open. Number 3 is bad roads and obstacles. Obstacles on the road, or just bad roads in general, are a huge danger. Obstacles can include cars, potholes, oil or water, even sand or gravel. All of these can be extremely dangerous. It depends on the situation. Of course, skill and experience helps you overcome these things. Check out my last video where I spoke on watching the gap, not the obstacle, because many people look at the wrong thing. They look at the obstacle and target fixation gets them. Now, number 4 is poor skills. That's perhaps an obvious one. Poor skills destroys motorcycle riders. Everyone starts with relatively poor skills, and skill improves over time as long as you make a conscious effort about this. In other words, don't reinforce bad habits or incorrect techniques, but practice and improve skills with a conscious effort.
During these exercises, I'm just using the throttle. In the friction zone, that's the area of a clutch travel between completely open and completely closed. I want to be in that gray area the entire time.
Having poor skills makes riding a motorcycle more dangerous, especially if you add in the other factors we've spoken about. Another interesting point is that if you've got good skills, but you've had a few beers, well, besides promoting the rise of estrogen in your body, your good skills will drop fast. And the same thing applies to riding when you're angry or overly emotional. Your judgment's impaired. So think about what you're doing. So we want to practice with proper technique, all the basics. That's corners, braking, slow speed maneuvers, appropriate speed for the conditions, riding smoothly when it's wet. You get the picture. So put in the comments what other basic skills require practice or what you've been practicing. Number 5 is protection or no protection, because having no protection is extremely dangerous. Ouch! We all know that if you do crash without protection, it's going to be a lot worse than just hurting. I know I ride around in a t-shirt a lot in summer, but I always wear motorcycle protective jeans. And unless it's too hot, I wear other protective gear as well. Most of the time. I think there's also a psychological boost when you wear protective gear. Well, there is for me anyway. It makes me feel safer, even if I'm being unsafe. Now, this is another type of protection. It's interesting to see that having ridden most of the brands over the last 40 years, there's no doubt that normal people think you're some kind of thug or tough guy when you ride a Harley.
You guys know that everyone thinks you're total fags, right? Just wanted to let you know.
No one deliberately tries to cut me off. No one tries to run me down or do anything else in the car versus bike battle. Now, I jump on any other type of bike and they start on me. Without fail, something will happen. Usually someone will deliberately cut me off, get angry with me, chase me down the road, whatever it is. Something always happens on any other brand. So we can conclude that riding Harley is protection. Now, of course, life in general is dangerous, and I'd say there are squillions of things that are more dangerous than riding a motorcycle. Here's one that Harley riders easily avoid, and I'll tell you why. Loneliness is as big a killer as obesity and heavy smoking. Someone did an analysis of 150 different studies on loneliness and social isolation. They found that your risk of premature death was up to 32% more. So it's more dangerous in terms of risk of death than being an alcoholic, heavy smoking, having a poor diet, or not exercising. Interesting, isn't it? Social isolation can literally kill you. Now, those of you who are on board with my perspective of what happened over the last few years will understand why lockdowns were implemented. This was a necessary precondition to create mass formation psychosis. In other words, how do you hypnotize lots of people? Well, they've just shown you. That's how powerful the effect of social isolation can be. It's even been shown that the same parts of your brain are activated as if you were feeling pain. That's when you experience loneliness or social isolation. And we know the power that the carrot and the stick in particular has. So it's a big thing that many people aren't aware of. So there are so-called blue zones in the world where people live the longest. Now, while I disagree with the conclusions made about the diet of people in these blue zones, it has been shown that a common factor in them living long and healthy lives is that these people have strong communities where they include the elderly people. Men are also more likely to suffer loneliness. It's a hidden killer of men and has only recently been acknowledged. It's probably more prevalent in men because they're often more work-orientated and competitive and less socially inclined. Remember, there's a huge difference between being alone and lonely. Lonely implies no connection with other people, but being alone could fall into the category of social isolation. So they are related. Now, one thing that Harley Davidson does way better than any other brand of motorcycle is build community. No one else is even in the race. I was invited as a guest to a hog event the other night, and the speaker mentioned that the Harley Owners Group now has 1 million members worldwide. Now, I'm not a member of the hog and love them or hate them. You have to give them credit because they organise activities and rides all the time, and that's got to be a great thing. There's also a heap of Facebook groups, including my own group. They organise events, rides, or just online banter that brings people together. People that have a common interest in motorcycles. There's no doubt that Harley riders excel in this. I'd also make the observation that even for outsiders like myself, people like me that shun most social events, I've made great friends and always meet wonderful and interesting people. I think it's very healthy for you. So make the effort to connect with others. I think it's good for your soul. Right, competition time. Resurgence Gear, they're giving away $1,000 of motorcycle clothes. Anything of your choice, just in time for Christmas. What a great Christmas present for you or your spouse or your kids, your neighbour, send it to me. This is for anyone, anywhere in the world. All you have to do to go in the draw is buy anything from Resurgence Gear, but you've got to put in the code old not dead when you purchase, because that's what's going to put you in the draw. They told me last week there may have been some buyers who didn't use the code. If you're going to buy something, use the code, at least you'll get in the competition. Now, each $150 you spend gets you one ticket in the draw. All the links are in the description. And like I said last week, this is a very small channel at the moment. So the chances of you winning are very, 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 very high. Now, I put in 4 verys because I'm trying to emphasize what a good chance you've got. If you like today's video, you'll also like last week's video because I explain one of the world's best kept but freely available secrets. The video is called You'll Crash If You Focus on Motorcycle Safety. Check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the website for some great supporter gear. Ride hard, stay safe, fit and healthy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.